everyone, it's Di from Di's Den and welcome to another video. This week, which is our Wales Wednesday, I thought we would make this lovely little triangular box. It's so easy to make, and yet, and you don't need to close. It's an easy close, so you just pop one on top of the other and then swish that one under and your box is closed. Now I did this one with all retired DSP. This was actually part of the celebration, and this punch has now retired. So, but this week we're going to do it with the Simply Zinnia, which is an online product, with their DSP. So I'm going to just use the thank you so much to put on my little saying, and I'm using these Unbounded Love dies. Oh, Unbounded Love dies, and I'm using this one here to do my stamping with. They come with a lovely set of words. So, and I'm going to be using Blackberry Bliss, which is a colour I'm not overly keen on, would you believe? And look at that, look at my pad, it looks disgusting, doesn't it? It just never seems to stay nice. So let's do that little bit of stamping before we get going. It doesn't seem to affect my stamping, it just doesn't look very nice. So I'm going to do my little bit of stamping on that so that can dry, because my Blackberry Bliss always takes forever to dry. So this came out of a piece of card that measured 2 5/8 by 3 1/8. So that was just for that. I'll pop that on one side and we'll pop that on after. But I will tell you now what you need for the box itself. And it's really not a real lot. So you're going to need a piece of card that measures 4 1/8 by 11 inches. And then you're going to need another piece of card that measures 3 1/2 by 3 inches. You're going to need 3 pieces for your layers that measure 3 1/4 by 1 3/4, and 3 pieces of designer series paper, which I'm using the Zinnia one, that measures 3 inches by 1 1/2 inches. And then we're going to need 3 more pieces for the top piece that measure this is lemon lime twist, by the way, 3 1/2 by 7/8 of an inch, and these pieces are 3 1/2 as well, because they're going to go end to end, so don't think I've made a mistake, because I haven't. And they measure 5/8 of an inch. So let's pop them on the side, and we will bring in our trimmer. Oh, that's really nice. And we're going to start with this piece, believe it or not, the 3 1/2 by 3 inches. So on the 3 1/2 inch side, you're going to put it in here at 1 3/4 of an inch, and you're just going to make a little mark at the top with your pencil. And then you're going to just bring this down from that pencil mark down to the corner, and you're going to cut that piece off. And then you're going to do exactly the same again on the other side. From that pencil mark down to that corner, you're going to cut that piece off. Once you've done that, you can throw those bits away and you've got a triangle. We don't need our trimmer anymore, and I'm just going to use my eraser just to get that little bit of thing off the top there. Okay, so we've got our triangle bit. Now we're going to make our box. So we're going to use our other piece, which is 11 by 4 1/8. And then we're going to bring in our trimmer again anyway, because we need to measure this the other way, and it's a bit harder. So we're going to score this at 3 1/2, 7 and 10 1/2. So that's 3 1/2, 7 and 10 1/2. Now you can do this all on your trimmer. You can do all of your scoring on your trimmer, but for me, I don't actually like doing it on my trimmer. So I'm only doing what I have to do on here. So we're going to bring this in, and we're going to score this at 1 1/16. So that's 1 inch, and the first little mark on your trimmer past that, 1 1/16 of an inch. We're going to turn it around 180 degrees and we're going to score that at 1 1/16 of an inch again. Like so. Let's pop that up there. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and fold and burnish all of these score lines. I always find that Blackberry Bliss, the dye that they use makes the card very, very stiff and feel really, really thick. Okay, we're going to do another bit of measuring, so we need our pencil again, and we're going to bring this in and we're going to mark this. I'm going to start in the middle of my paper, it's just easier. And we're going to bring this in from this edge here, we're going to mark in 5/8 of an inch. And we're going to bring that over to that mark and we're going to mark that in 5/8 of an inch. And we're going to do that again. We're going to bring that in this one and measure 5, oops, sit down straight, 5/8 of an inch. And then we're going to do the same again from this end at the score line. We're going to bring it in and measure it at 5/8 of an inch, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of an inch there. We're going to turn it around and we're going to do exactly the same again. So we're going to start with making that that's not there, and we're going to mark this at 5/8 of an inch. We're going to bring it down and we're going to mark it at 5/8 of an inch. Down again, 5/8 of an inch. And then we're going to do one more. Let's bring that there. And we're doing it from this end, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're actually going to cut these pieces off. So I'm going to notch this and cut that off. You'll see why we make those marks in a moment. Notch this one and cut that off too. Alright, so we've got just our tab bit in the middle. Now what we're going to do is where those 5/8 of an inch mark are, we're going to cut on an angle across to that line. The reason we do that is because we need to get it to be triangular like this piece. And we can't do that if we don't bring that into the 5/8 of an inch mark. So I'm going to move that out of the way and bring my scissors across and cut that into there. Now I'm going to fold this one in half and I'm going to cut from that mark, from that corner up to that 5/8 of an inch mark. Now I'm going to turn it over because of my mark is on the other side now, and I'm going to cut that up to the same thing. So now I'm going to close that over again, so now at this score line, and I'm going to mark from there up to that 5/8 of an inch, turn it over, and I can do that 5/8 of an inch on that side. Now we can open it up and we can do the same on this end. So we're going to cut out 5/8 of an inch and 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so our piece will look like so. Now I'm just going to go through and remove all these pencil marks. That's it, we've got rid of all our pencil marks. Okay, so that's our piece of card, and it looks like 3 hexagonal pieces really, doesn't it? Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're actually going to put our designer series paper on. Now if you've got designer series paper that has a direction on it, you need to do it in the landscape. So I'm going to pop glue on all of these. And then they're all going to sit onto our pieces here. to do those bits first. And once again, we glue these on. I know Blackberry Bliss is not a colour that I use a lot, and it's also not a colour that is easy to work with on camera because it's dark. So it makes it very hard to see the score lines and stuff. But we have to use it occasionally. Okie dokie. Now at this stage, because I don't have a paper that's got a direction, it doesn't matter which is up and which is down. If you do have a directional paper, you need to put it so that one end is the top, and then your paper that you've got your other bits on also has to be in landscape and cut in landscape, sorry, so that they actually match up. Alright, these go end to end, so don't think I cut it wrong because I didn't. And one more. Like so. Now because I've got a paper that doesn't matter, I'm going to do it so that my tab is on the right hand side. I just find it easier for me. Now I'm going to glue these pieces in place one at a time, cutting as I go. So I'm going to push this out of the way and I'm going to pop this on here like so, making sure that it's in between the lines nicely and over the edge here and here. Once I know that that's down nicely, I'm going to then turn it over and trim the excess away. And we know that that one's down nicely. So now I can get the next one ready and do exactly the same thing again. So I'm going to push that one out of the way and that one out of the way so that I can put the middle one in nicely. Press it down and then cut away the excess bits. Move that one out of the way. It just makes it easier to get in. And we have that second one done. And we're going to do exactly the same again for the last one. So don't worry if your designer series paper like mine ends up being a little bit over the edge, because it will be cut away. So move that one out of the way, pop this one in here, a bit of press on both sides, make sure it's stuck down nicely, and then we're going to cut that away. And I find it easy to come up from the bottom to cut, but that's just me. So that's my 3 bits along the top. I'm just going to get my bone folder and give them all a nice squish down. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to leave that there. I need this piece here now, as well as my box. So, oh, come back, box. This paper's got some funny marks on the inside, but you don't see the inside. So we're going to pop some glue along this edge here, on that what looks like the outside, and we're going to fold it down and bring this one across and line it up nicely across the top. This is probably the most trickiest part of this box, is just getting that to line up nicely along that edge. Once you're happy with the way that's lined up and that these score lines are all lined up nicely, you can give that a nice burnish down. Oops, come on, get down. And we're going to turn it upside down. We're going to turn in one end. We're just going to pop some glue on this bit and then push in this one. You'll see now that that actually matches up nicely. If you can eyeball it if you want, but I just find that eyeballing is not always the best way. So once I've done that one, I'm going to turn it over, give that a good squish down from this side so that we know it's stuck down. Now I'm going to do exactly the same on this end and this end here, and bring that one over so it closes nicely. Turn it up the other way again and give it a good squish down on the inside of the box. We can turn it upside down, and now this piece here will fit on the bottom to cover all of those up absolutely beautifully. So we're going to just pop some glue along this side, and it doesn't matter which way round you put it because it's what kind of triangle? I think it's called an equilateral triangle or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I went to school. Okay, all done. On the inside, give it another squish down so that you've got a really lovely edge there. Let me put the pin in my glue, because I do not like it when it does that. So now we're going to show you how it closes. So we're going to push one down, two down, lift the corner of that one like you do a normal box, and it flips over like so. Just bring in our little saying and some dimensionals. I have got not many left at the moment here. I'm going to use up the ends. So let's turn this over and pop that on. Let's turn that, take that bit off. Oops. I'll put that bit on there. And a little bit more. There we go. Use up all around the edges. I never leave those bits and don't use them. Some people do, but I think what a waste. Okay, then I'm going to pop this on one of the sides like so. And once again, I didn't bring any jewels around, any embellishments, so I will actually put some embellishments on this. And once I have done that and photographed this, you'll see it. But that's my box. It looks great in the silver, but it actually looks really nice in these colours here. It really goes with the pops these green out here, and this is actually Blackberry Bliss one, and it matches him really well. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So if you've enjoyed today's Wowza Wednesday project, don't forget to give me a like and a thumbs up. If you'd like the written tutorial for this, head down below to my link that says my Facebook group, which is Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you'll find the written tutorial. If you are not a member, it's free to join. All you need to do is answer the question, and I will see you all again on Sunday with another project. Bye for now.